What's up, guys, and welcome to the last episode of the first season of the Bubba Speed career mode in MotoGP 19. Bubba Speed is currently in third place, 2 points behind second, but he's pretty far off of the top spot. Unfortunately, it's going to be almost impossible to actually gain on Canet, who is definitely just dominating the second half of the championship. And essentially what's going to happen is, what's going to need to happen for Bubba to actually win is he needs to win both races, and Canet basically needs to crash in at least one or finish really low down on both of them. He has to gain a lot of points very fast, and we're going over to Malaysia, and this is actually one of my favorite tracks, and the next one, Valencia, is arguably my favorite track. It's between Valencia, Mugello, and Sachsenring, and I guess Catalunya. Those are my four tracks that I don't know, every time I play them, it's just something that, I don't know, it just brings back so many good memories, and it's just so much fun. Unfortunately, qualifying didn't go very well for Bubba. Lost a lot of positions very early on, especially because Malaysia is one of those tracks that does have a pretty long straightaway. It's a very fast track, I would say, so it's one of those where you're going to have a bit of an issue if you're Bubba to get a good start, and I've been working on starts a lot. I've been trying to actually improve. I think I might have a little bit of a system, but it's not perfect, and a lot of times it leaves me kind of falling behind. So let me know in the comments if you do know of any secrets to getting good starts, because I can cheese my way through a lot of games off the start, because there's usually a specific timing where if you get it just right, then you're gonna have a solid start. But I don't know. I've been having a really hard time in this particular game. So if you have any tips, I would be more than happy to listen to them and try to improve. Meanwhile, Bubba's all the way up to second place. He's going to attempt to try to go into first. He does, but he's going to hold it. He runs wide. Can he hold first position? It looks like he can. Of course, he ran pretty wide, but that's not going to be too much of an issue for him, considering how much of a runoff there was right there. Now, this turn, if you get it wrong, is devastating, because it's going to set you up very poorly for the right-hander, but Bubba actually did pretty well right there. Came out of it very clean, came out of it pretty quick, and gives him a good opportunity to run this turn a little bit wide and then cut it in very nicely. And just overall, like, this track has been a track that's given me a lot of problems in a lot of games, but I just feel like in this one it just flows really well. And I think it's like I say this a lot, I just think that the physics have gotten so much better in these games, and I will give Milestone credit. Like, I did not respect them as a company in terms of game design, especially like with the old Superbike games and stuff like that. I did not respect them at all. But what they have been able to do with the MotoGP series is really impressive. Like, the physics of the game is getting so much better. Now what they need to do, and of course MotoGP 20 is out. I haven't actually raced in it yet, because I've been trying to save that for when I go into the career mode. So of course, like, literally right after I record this, right after I put this out, I'm going to be playing MotoGP 20. But apparently the AI is supposed to be really improved, and that's going to be, if that's true, because that's been said a lot of times in a lot of these games, and it doesn't really actually improve, in my opinion. So if it's actually true, then the game's going to be really good if they just keep the physics engine like this, maybe tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit better, adjust some of the penalties, make it a little bit less annoying, to where sometimes you get penalized for stuff that actually loses you time. And then I think they're going to have a masterpiece on their hands. So I look forward to reviewing it. I've just been waiting a little bit because I've been trying to get this career mode, at least, MotoGP 19 portion of it done. That way we can just focus 100% on MotoGP 20. So lap 2, Bubba is in 4th position. Lost a lot of ground at the start of this lap. Unfortunately, the first sector is pretty difficult for Bubba. That's going to be a portion where we're going to lose a lot of ground. But coming into this part right here, where you have this left hand, where the AI tends to hit the brakes or let off quite a bit, whereas Bubba likes to go in there just almost full throttle, let off a little bit, of course, but then you just fucking hit the gas, and then you watch everybody just kind of be left in your dust, and that's what Bubba's going to do best. And this is actually like the part of the track that I enjoy the most, like right here, this one right here, this little, those couple of turns right there, then this fast straightaway, and then you have the big U-turn right here. It's just excellent. Like, I don't know who designed this track, but whoever did, did a hell of a job. I mean, like I said in the last video, actually, the entire Asia/Oceania portion of the MotoGP calendar is pretty much perfect. I mean, Thailand I'm not a big fan of, but it's definitely better than a lot of the newer tracks. So, oof, Bubba almost crashed right there. Actually jumped, so not something you want to see. Maybe starting to feel a little bit of pressure, especially because he knows he needs to win the race in order to have any kind of a chance of somehow getting back in this, and Migno is actually second. So Canet might have lost a few points. You don't know exactly what position he's in. It'll be interesting to see when we get across the line if they show it. Hopefully Canet's kind of far backwards, because right now Bubba's in a good position. This is the part right here where Bubba could get screwed, because obviously these are two very, very long straightaways in a row. In particular, this one right here, because if you get a like right there, like Bubba went really, really wide, he's going to lose a lot of ground there. He might get an okay drive, but it's not going to be enough. You see, Migno came out of it way better, and eventually it will kind of count in Migno's favor. So that's going to be something to keep in the that has to be worried about. Where's Canet? Canet's 7th. Canet is 7th. So if Dalla Porta, who I think is above Bubba in the standings, is actually a few positions back too. So maybe, well, actually, isn't that Dalla Porta? All right. Anyway, so you know, if Bubba can somehow get this win, he's going to gain a lot of points, unless Canet just starts going off in this third lap, which wouldn't be surprising, and gains a lot of positions, because of course Canet's been extremely dominant this second half of the calendar. But Bubba's back in first, and that's no surprise. Like I said, that first part of the track, and I guess the last couple of straights of the track, those are going to be the issues for Bubba. Those are the only parts of the track where he's going to struggle. But the rest of it, he's very, very solid. He's very, very clean, and he's very, very fast. So he should be confident to at least maintain his lead there. But it's going to be very important for him to have a good gap going into the last, going into those two straightaways. Because if not, he's going to get past, and it's not going to be. There's really not going to be anything he can do unless he tries to do some kind of cheesy ass block. Which, I mean, it's, as you probably have seen, like, you know, we've done a few things that have been kind of dirty over the season. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, Bubba hasn't exactly been the cleanest guy in the world. I'm sure you guys have noticed. And there he goes extremely wide, which loses him a lot of ground in the worst possible part. That's not good at all, because that's a part where he should have been pretty solid, and it's gonna set him up poorly for the next couple of turns. Goes a little bit wide here again. Is gonna touch the grass. This is not good. Oh! Actually jumped and ended on a wheelie. Not looking good for Bubba right now, because that actually did use up his tires a lot too. Coming into this pretty difficult turn, he's just going to try to play it safe, but he's going to run really, really wide. He's going to give him a terrible run going onto the, it's not even a back straight, going onto the first of two straights. They're probably going to, okay, he did a good job of blocking Migno. At least there's that. That was pretty smart, but are other people going to be on his ass too? Trying to play it defensively. Can he get through this turn nicely? He does actually come out okay, but I think they're going to get the drive on him. They're definitely going to get the drive on him. There goes Migno. Can he stay at least in second, which wouldn't be a bad result? Oh, he got past. Oh, it looks like he got passed by a couple guys too. There's a chance he may have finished fourth. From first to fourth, there it is, fourth position. Oh my god, literally. How? 0.367. Exactly the same as Antonelli. It'll be interesting to see why exactly they gave it to him. Really, really, really bad right there. That sucks. That's a horrible turn of events. From first to fourth in the span of one turn. And there it is, 34 points behind Canet. That could have potentially opened it back up. A win right there could have opened it back up a little bit. Going into Valencia, it's officially over. That sucks. That fucking sucks. But, alright, going into the circuit, Ricardo Tormo of Valencia. One of my favorite tracks of all time. Like, this is it's just an amazing track, guys. Of course, Bubba qualifies on pole, but of course has a terrible start. I mean, no surprise there. Bubba just consistently has a bad start and is all the way down to 10th. Got lucky that people are banging into the back of him paws and are giving him a bit of a push and helping him get a little bit closer to the top. But the good thing is Bubba is very, very, very good at this track. So I feel like there's a very good chance of us winning this one. Like, if we don't win, then it's kind of a disaster for us personally, because I just feel like this alongside Mugello is one of those tracks where if I don't win, then there's just something that's just very, very, just, you know, it's just not working for me. So either I'm just not mentally there, or I make a lot of mistakes, and I don't know, and maybe it's just like a weird day, you know what I mean? Sometimes that can happen. There have been days where I've played this game late at night trying to get these episodes out for you, and you know, have made a lot of mistakes due to lack of concentration and stuff like that. But no excuses. Bubba has to win this race, like, no matter what. Like, the championship is out of his hands. There's no doubt about that. It's impossible to gain 34 points because you can only get 25 in a race. So it's impossible for him to do that. But he can at least try to get second, which of course would not be a bad result, considering this is his debut season on a shit bike against guys that, of course, you know, have been on the European circuit for a long time now, since basically they were little kids, know all these tracks at the back of their hands, have good bikes, and, you know, considering, like I said in the last episode too, like, you know, considering the team's expectations were like 15th or 20th, then you have to say somebody being in the top 3 of the championship standings in their first season is pretty damn impressive. So Bubba, regardless, has had a hell of a season. I'm sure he's going to be full of confidence going into the second season. Now, Bubba has to take that turn a little bit cleaner. If he can get that turn right, I don't see anybody on this grid that can actually stop him on Valencia. And the important thing right now is to just kind of stay on their ass a little bit, and then come the middle of the track, try to go off. Like right here, Bubba can actually exploit a lot. Not going to go run wide, because this is one of those tracks where I respect so much that I don't want to do anything dirty. It's just like, if it's shit tracks, then I'm more than willing to do, you know, to exploit whatever runoff there is. Like that wasn't on purpose. A lot of times I do it on purpose, and I will admit that. I know it's kind of trash, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do for the love of Bubba. So Bubba Speed, once again in first, come into this portion of the track, which is arguably my favorite. Like this little part right here, leading pretty much from here leading on to the end, but every part of it's just perfect. Like I love this turn right here, coming up this hill. Then you go on the gas, and it's kind of difficult in this one. Not this one right here, because you have this little left right here, but right after this. All right, coming up here, it's a little bit more difficult because usually in the games they make it pretty clear that you're supposed to turn left there. And I think it was in Gran Turismo, like Gran Turismo 4 or something like that. Instead of turning left there, you go a bit farther straight. So that did throw me off when I did practice for a second. I don't know why. It's just like, you know, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes memories of other games where the tracks might be different kind of come into play, and it just kind of threw me off a little bit. But Bubba right now going into this part of the track, and I just love this right here. This left hand going up the hill kind of reminds me of Magello in a way, you know, because of course you have this long looping little turn, and then of course it cuts in deep. Pause. Of course Bubba just completely blows it there, but gonna get a decent drive, and it doesn't really matter too much right now, because of course going into the last lap, Bubba has this lead. If he can keep it until the end of the straightaway, then I don't really see a reason why I don't really see why he shouldn't be able to win this race. Like, coming out of this turn, he's going to come out perfectly. A little bit wide, to be fair. A little bit wide, but nothing too bad. Canet, though, he's on his ass, so he is pretty close, but Bubba's going to be just too fast, in my opinion. And he's going to come out of this turn pretty well, pushing through the Mick Doohan turn right here. Just has to keep it clean and avoid penalties. That's always the most important thing, because penalties are a disaster. And of course, like when I fucking say it, man, a .3. How is it a +3? How is it a +3 or .3? Like, honestly, guys, how fucking bullshit is that? Like, barely even cut. Like, I would say gained absolutely nothing out of it. And yet, it's a 0.3, which is devastating for a race in, like, in Moto 3. So, it's really, really, really frustrating, but I guess we just have to live with it. Our mistake, technically, and of course, Bubba now understands he has to fucking push hardcore and makes a mistake right there, goes wide, hits the dirt, which slows him down even more. It would be a real shame to lose this race, especially considering how well it's been going. Goes around the looping right. Almost at the end right here, about to go up the hill. 0.6 of a gap, so it's not much, unfortunately. Runs a little bit wide, slows down a little bit there. Has to really do well in this turn and has to come out of it quick. Can be no mistakes made in this one if we want to actually win this race. And Bubba's taking it kind of slow. Runs wide. Runs wide. Can he get a drive out of it and still maintain a big enough distance? Big enough gap between him and second. Looks like it's pretty close. They're gaining. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough, guys. I'm pretty sure Canet somehow stole this win. Yep, there it is. By 0.1.
We're going to take a look at the Moto3 race.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. That pisses me off. That really, really, really pisses me off. Because that would have at least put Bubba in second, which would have been, you know, better than the third, of course. Have to put in a screenshot, guys, right here, because the game is kind of frustrating and it didn't actually show like an end screen afterwards. But here we are, MotoGP 20. You will see the first episode of MotoGP 20 on Thursday. I'm going to start releasing them on Thursdays. and Sundays, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Hope you guys are excited. I am very, very excited to get into MotoGP 20, dive into it, review it, and just have the second half of Bubba's Career Mode. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.